So hello all and welcome, and it is I, the realist philosopher, known here on YouTube as the Bachelor Philosopher. You can find me on BitChute and Rumble as the realist philosopher, no spaces. And again, I am the Bachelor Philosopher, well, just Bachelor Philosopher here on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give me a like, and leave a comment at the end of this video. Let me know what you think. So, I wanted to address what I call the OnlyFreaks phenomenon. I'm not going to call the website what it really is because for some reason YouTube don't like that. Actually using the title of the website itself. I don't know why. Well, I know why, but I'm not going to say why. Now, this is an interesting phenomenon, and it's become so popular because you get all these broads going on all these different podcasts talking about how much money they're making. You get chicks going online, Twitch and YouTube saying, I'm making 10 grand a month. Others, I'm making 20 grand a month. And even fewer still, but some of them are saying, I'm making 100 grand a month. The only problem with this is these are the exceptions to the rule. But unfortunately, like women tend to do, they don't employ logic or reason, so they make a compositional fallacy and they conflate the specific with the general. So they see these broads going online talking about how much money they're making, and they're like, oh, wow. Well, they don't look much better than me. If I dope myself up a bit, and of course they never say to themselves, if I got on a treadmill and exercised and worked out, maybe I could look even better, make more. No, they don't do that. You just want to do the most surface, facile things they possibly can. So, yeah, dough myself up, slather on the pancake makeup. I could make that much too. Unfortunately, because so many women overestimate their own sexual marketplace value because of years and years of simps puffing up their egos and leading them to believe that they're actually more attractive than they are, lots and lots of women are quitting their jobs, ruining their relationships, all at the chance to make some of that OnlyFreaks cheddar, yo. And then they end up making like 20 bucks. Now, I just did some research, and the average amount a woman makes on OnlyFans is like 151 bucks a month. However, that is taking all of the, if you want to call it income. The only thing I consider income is, money you make from actually doing work, and I don't consider this work. But if you that number is come to by taking the entirety of all the money brought in by all women on OnlyFans and then dividing it by the number of women. So it's also including all of the very high earners, the ones that are making 5, 10, 20, 100,000 a month. If you remove those women, you're probably going to have an average of about 20 bucks a month. Maybe 50 or 100 if you're lucky, working full time. That might be pretty good if you live in Zimbabwe or Bangladesh, where the average person might be making $2 a day, and you're beating them by making 3.5. But in America, that's not too good, even with social welfare cheddar, yo. But women are continuing in ever greater numbers to run to OnlyFans. So I wanted to review this story that showcases the regret that women have when they go this route. Oh, well, realist, that's just a woman who failed at OnlyFans. If she had done really well and made a lot of money, she wouldn't be posting this. Yeah, she would. It'd just take longer. She'd still be posting it. It'd just be a few years, right, until she hit the wall, and then she'd have the same regret. She'd still wish she didn't do it. So, the only difference is a woman that actually made a lot of money at it would at least have that to fall back on. But it wouldn't change anything. Wouldn't change her marital status, which will probably never change. That status being unmarried. And if she does find a man, he's going to be pretty low quality, because no high quality man is going to want to be with an OnlyFreaks broad. So, yeah, make money, don't make money, you're going to regret it. So, let's get into this story and see what the experience was like for this poor young thing. From Business Insider, I regret doing OnlyFans when I turned 18. I don't know, is this, so I don't know if this is the picture of the girl in question. You know, they got her face shadowed out and, you know, side profile. But you never know. A lot of these online rags post these kind of stories. They use stock photos. So I have no idea if this is the actual chick. If it is, she looks like she's relatively attractive. Her face isn't fat. So an 18-year-old, relatively attractive, I mean, would probably do okay. And yes, she regrets it. Guess money can't buy everything. So this is an as told to essay, and it's based on a conversation with a former OnlyFans creator. They asked not to be named to protect their identity, so that picture's stock. But their income and former job have been confirmed by Insider. Conversation has been edited for length and clarity. Okay, so these are the words of the person who regretted it. Okay, when I turned 18, I did something I thought would help me feel empowered as a woman. So I don't understand this. Why is it that feminists, the feminazis, the you go girl, queen boss babes, always, almost exclusively, name sex and being liberated sexually as a path to empowerment? I don't understand this. These people talk about how men are misogynistic and evil for looking at women as sexual objects, yet they talk about using sex and sex work, which essentially turns you into a sexual object, as a path to empowerment. Isn't that kind of contradictory? I don't get that. But instead, it left me traumatized. Yeah. You know, a lot of these broads, they get like special requests. I remember seeing one video about some chick who talked about, guys paying her hundreds of dollars to take a dump in a bucket. Now, I don't see the attraction there. I don't want to watch some chick take a dump in a bucket. But I guess some dudes out there have a fetish for that kind of thing. It's that SCAT. It's a fetish. But guys can ask you to do some really, really crazy, messed up stuff that I suppose could traumatize you. And I guess if you work in the sex industry and you sell yourself as a sexual object and you objectify yourself sexually, it could traumatize you. By the way, women talk about how men objectifying women, especially sexually objectifying them, is traumatizing to women. Like it somehow hurts them. Meanwhile, they run around wearing skimpy outfits, next to nothing, even foregoing underwear because they don't want the underwear lines to show up in their super tight, form-fitting dresses. But they say they don't want to be sexually objectified while wearing clothes that could only be worn for one reason: to attract a man's gaze and to see you as a sexual object. And they push sexually objectifying yourself. So they're okay with it as long as you monetarily benefit. So the only thing traumatizing from a feminist point of view is doing it for free. Interesting. I only spent 3 years. Only 3 years? 18, so she'd have been 21. Well, you're nowhere near the wall, honey. Unless you were knocking back some serious booze and meth, yo. And other hard drugs. And even then, I don't know if that's going to destroy you after 3 years when you're that young. I suppose it would depend on how much hard drugs you were doing, of course. But barring hard drugs and liquor, you could have kept going for another 5 years, maybe more, considering how many simps are out there. But 3 years is quite a long time. So saying only, sounds like she's trying to minimize it because, of course, she feels shame, as she should. But looking back, those are the most miserable years of my life. Well, yeah, I mean, unless you are like a 9 or a 10, like top tier chick, it's going to be a struggle to make money. You got to build a following. And also, it's not just about being attractive, because there's some pretty mediocre looking chicks on OnlyFans, but some of them do very well. And it's because they also have charisma. So what a lot of women don't understand is that looks aren't really enough to make it on a platform like OnlyFans, especially get those big dollars. They see these broads talking about 10, 15, 20, 30 grand a month, and they think, oh, well, I'm more attractive than her, or I'm at least as attractive, so I could make that money too. But the problem is that you're missing a key component of their earning capability, and that's giving them what they want. And at least performatively having the kind of charisma and personality that is extremely attractive to a man. So these women are doing something, usually it's performative, but they know what men want personality-wise, charisma-wise. They know how to market themselves. It's more than just how they look. So it takes a number of characteristics, key features that a woman has to be able to demonstrate to her audience to earn that kind of money. It's not just about being attractive. Yeah, beautiful women are a dime a, well, okay. Maybe they used to be a dime a dozen, but considering the body positivity movement, I'd say maybe they're a dime a, not even a baker's dozen, double, triple, quadruple. Let's say, okay, yeah, I think it's gone that far that you could say beautiful women are 1 in 100. So maybe it's not actually that many anymore, but even still, you got to bring more to the table than just looks. And a lot of these OnlyFans models, they bring a kind of personality that is extremely attractive to a lot of simpy dudes out there. Now, guys like myself will see right through it. But simpy dudes just lap that fake submissiveness up, that fake femininity up. And these women are able to put forth exactly what these simps want. Are you able to do that to a high degree? Are you that charismatic as a woman? Meaning able to put forth characteristics that are extremely attractive to men of a particular mindset? Because if not, you're not going to be one of those high earners. But anyway, she joined OnlyFans, was on there 3 years, but looking back, they were the most miserable years of her life. At the time, joining OnlyFans felt like a natural progression. Well, I suppose on the journey of a effeminist it would be. As you know, the effeminist teaches you to become ever more debauched as you age until you pretty much, price yourself out of the sexual marketplace. Either that or you age yourself out of it. Take your pick. I was already posting bikini pictures on Instagram, so I didn't really feel there was a big difference. I don't know. I think there's kind of a difference between bikini pics and sticking a cucumber up your bum. That's just me, though. Between posting there and posting on OnlyFans. No, there is a massive difference between Instagram bikini pics and prawn. So I saw creators talking about how being an OnlyFans creator was empowering. That's called cope, okay? That's called cope. They made a bad decision. Once you make this decision, there ain't no coming back. So the journey back is already a longer one than the journey forward. And actually, there's no way you could make the journey back because you can't undo this because the internet is forever. So their reputations are sullied for all eternity. So, in for a penny, in for a pound, right? They're committed. So they got to cope, because they ain't got no choice. So they tell themselves it's empowering and it's great. And unfortunately, they sucker chicks like you in as well to share in their misery. And a way to be in charge of your own life. What do you mean in charge of your own life? So everything about being in charge of one's life is about money? Well, as a feminist, you would believe that. Materialists that they are. That all sounded good to me. Well, but I don't know. I mean, wait a second. I don't understand this. How does being an OnlyFans model make you more in charge? I guess the presupposition is that you'll make a lot of money. But that's only based on the top, 1% of earners on OnlyFreaks? Oh, but the reality of what actually happened, it happened on there was nothing like that. Of course not. Yeah, of course. My OnlyFans subscribers constantly push my boundaries. Yeah. The truth of the matter is that the only people that are actually feeling more empowered are the dudes, and only the most deviant dudes on OnlyFans, and only the most deviant dudes on OnlyFans that have a big pocketbook and don't seem to realize they can use that to get women in real life to do all this stuff for them, as opposed to some chick on camera. And I guess the reason they do that is because there's a certain amount of shame attached to a lot of these weird kinks, which there should be, so good. But yeah, they're paying you to demean yourself. Might make them feel powerful, but how exactly does that make you feel powerful? I would think it would have the exact opposite effect. It would make you feel disempowered and lowly. There were my times an OnlyFans creator. Get the... Yeah. I love the language where she's trying to, make herself sound like some kind of valid, upright professional. I'm a creator. No, you're not. We all know what you are. I was more depressed and anxious than I ever had been before. Yeah. I was making really good money. Great money, actually. But there you go, see? Yeah, 18-year-old. Yeah. But she was as unhappy as she'd ever been in her entire life. There's a lesson to be learned there. On average, up to $20K a month. So she became one of the top earners. But I felt like my subscribers were constantly pushing my boundaries. Yeah, they're paying you a lot of money in a lot of cases. So, they're going to push you, right? A lot of these freaks, a lot of these dudes have some way out there kinks, man. And they're anonymous in most cases. So, of course, they're going to push you. No matter what I posted, they wanted more explicit content. Yeah. Because this kind of interactive prawn, it's a drug, just like regular porn, but, it's like, it's kind of like graduating from, marijuana, pot, to cocaine, or cocaine to heroin. I mean, whatever the hierarchy is of the ever more addictive drug, and then you build up a tolerance, and then you got to do ever more of it, or just find a new drug that gives you even more of a high until you build up tolerance to that as well. Now, I ended up sending nude photos a few times, even though I didn't want to. That's it. Okay. Seems pretty tame compared to the dumping in a bucket. But she probably got to that point. Because I felt so pressured, and they were offering me so much money. Yeah, guys. If it's a surprise to you that women will do almost anything for money, well, you ain't been paying attention. I would also receive terrible messages that were so degrading, and I didn't see any filtering system on OnlyFans to block them. It surprises you that dudes that would pay you to do degrading things want to degrade you? Okay, honey. Yeah, interesting. It was obvious that they saw me as an object. Wait. I'm confused here. Let me get this straight. You're selling yourself. Men are buying you. You're packaging yourself as something to be bought, which is an object, and you're surprised they're seeing you as an object? For their pleasure. Well, what do you think they're paying you for? Not to give them pleasure? And not as a person. Of course not. Of course I don't see you as a... you're not marketing yourself as a person, are you? So let me get this straight. These dudes that are paying you to do degrading stuff, and one could argue that prawn itself is degrading, no matter what level we're talking about, whether it's soft or hardcore, it's all degrading. You're somehow surprised that they don't want to know what your hobbies are, your favorite color in most cases? Yeah, no kidding, they don't care. A lot of these guys are sick, perverted, degenerates. They love to be degraded or to degrade others. They don't know how to form strong, long-term bonds and lasting relationships with women. If they did, they wouldn't be on OnlyFans. Because this is the closest they can get to feeling like they have some kind of connection with someone, and they treat them horribly. And you're surprised these people are on OnlyFans? And that they're treating you horribly? Come on, lady. It was awful being constantly sexualized. That's like saying, it was awful working in a restaurant and people constantly expected me to serve them food. So she goes on to say, I was miserable and spending money to hide my depression and anxiety. On Gucci bags or the nose candy? I wonder. Did you get that heroin chic look? Let's see. So for all the money I was bringing in, I was spending it just as quickly. Booze? Drugs? Handbags? Probably not food. But then again, I guess a lot of the simps watching wouldn't have a problem with her putting on a little weight. Well, I don't know. It would depend. Nah, they probably would. Yeah, they probably would. I'm sure there'd be a few chubby chasers out there in her audience. Yeah, but I'm guessing her her drug of choice was not food. I was spending it just as quickly. I spent money to mask my depression and anxiety. I got used to this luxurious lifestyle where I'd go on fancy trips to beautiful places to distract myself from my misery. Yeah, just generally why chicks tend to go on these elaborate, planned, long vacations multiple times a year to shoot content in a new setting. Each time I think maybe this is the trip I'll be happy on. Yeah, because things bring happiness, right? No, what brings happiness is living in the moment and having some kind of purpose in life. Not just making money for money's sake. Are you making money to serve, to contribute to some kind of future goal that you're already on the path to achieving now? No. Money for its own sake. It'll bring me happiness because I can buy things. It was never true. I was always miserable. Of course you were. Of course you were. And any chick that says otherwise in this situation is just coping. My family and friends wanted me to stop, but they could control me. It was something I couldn't let go of once I started. Of course not. Yeah. Because as much as you say you were miserable, you loved the attention and the validation and the ego boost that all that attention and validation gave you, even though you probably won't admit that. And also the money was quite addictive as well. My whole life revolved around creating OnlyFans content. Well, it's got it, doesn't it? I mean, you got to make your fans happy. Otherwise, that $20K a month goes bye-bye. I didn't grow up with much money. As a kid, I was made fun of for having a rundown car and a small house. Okay, yeah, kids can be cruel. So now in your adulthood, you're kind of overcompensating and going nuts because you never really had money. So you never really learned how to budget, how to finance, how to spend it, how not to spend it. Yeah, makes some sense, yeah. I think that instilled a desire in me to make money as an adult and prove myself. Yeah, but look at the way that you're doing it. There's nothing impressive about that. By the way, I find it interesting. Women don't want to be sexualized or objectified, and yet she thinks that, or thought that she could prove herself to the world via her success through objectifying herself. Okay. Yeah. So OnlyFans felt like the path to self-sufficiency, and for a time it was. You're not really self-sufficient. Come on. The money was good, but it changed my life. I started isolating myself because I was so depressed, and I lost the closeness I had with my family. They know you're doing this. My friendships started to suffer because I avoided my friends. Boy, it sounds a lot like a drug, doesn't it? This OnlyFreaks content creation. My whole life revolved around creating content and talking to my subscribers. I spent at least 2 hours a day messaging them, and it took a few hours to shoot and edit content. It was a full-time job. Well, yeah. What did you expect it to be? I was spending at least 8 hours a day doing all of this, and it was exhausting. So, I mean, you could have worked a regular full-time job, right? I mean, she wouldn't have made nearly as much money. Probably, 1/7, 1/6. Okay, but would that have been enough? You see, the thing about things is if you try to use them to fill the gaping chasm that results from a lack of purpose and meaning in your life, well, that chasm, that gaping abysmal chasm inside you, that doesn't fill it. That doesn't fill it. Things don't fill that. Only because to that abysmal chasm inside you, things are substanceless. They have no substance, okay? So if you try, I mean, can you take a couch? Can you take a Gucci bag and stuff it inside you? No. So to that gaping maw inside you, those things have no substance of any kind. You can only fill those things through meaning and purpose. Living your life in a correct and proper way. I mean, you're free to choose to live your life however you want, but there's a certain way to live in your life that will lead to happiness, that will make you happy, where you will be happy 24/7. And there's a way that'll do the exact opposite, and you'll be miserable 24/7, and that's the path you're on, or we're on. Oh, my. Yeah, it got to the point where the money wasn't worth it. Yeah. Big shocker there. So I had no idea what I was getting into. At 18? You didn't know anything? You didn't know what you're getting into, really? I was so young and naive, I didn't see the big deal of posting sexy pictures. Well, it only started out that way, right? As you yourself admitted, they kept demanding ever more hardcore content from you. I noticed she's not going into detail as to what that kind of content was. I can guess. And then once I had done it, I figured there was no reason to stop since the photos were already out there. See, I see? In for a penny, in for a pound? Type mindset? Yeah. I felt terrible. All the creepy attention was making me sick. And yet you kept doing it. That was your choice. So subscribers kept asking for nude photos and offering more and more money. They were asking for more than that, I'm sure. And I'm sure you gave them more than that. So she goes on to say, I felt myself stepping past my boundaries, and it left me feeling like I should self-erase. Ah, interesting. And yet, addicted to that money and that attention and that validation, just like a drug addict, I was close to ending myself, ending things. To be honest, I couldn't, like you'd have really went through with it. Women are very good at the erasing of self. Not like men. They always choose some kind of like, least effective option because it's the least painful. Yeah, it's also the least effective. And then it comes out as, some kind of cry for help. Couldn't live with myself and felt like I was constantly on the edge of a mental breakdown. My life was spiraling, and yet I didn't quit. I needed help. Though I was raised in a Christian household, I lost my faith. Well, I didn't think you had any at this point. You were doing prawn. But a family member noticed that I was spiraling and prayed for me. And through that prayer, I found my way back to Jesus. I wonder if that word name will get me shadow banned on YouTube. Probably. I'll say it anyway. I guess I could say Jesus, and you'd know what I was talking about. I found my strength to leave OnlyFans through my faith. Great. It's good for something, I guess. I don't think I could have left it all behind on my own. But I found strength in my faith. Good. Good for you. I now know that there's a purpose for my life. Well, okay, so, yes, but it's not deterministic. So let me explain here. So this woman got lost in nihilism. Not intentionally, but she didn't know that you need purpose in your life. You're going to get lost as she did. And there is no predetermined purpose. There isn't some kind of plan woven into the fabric of the universe that has some kind of mapped out path for all of us to follow. Whether it be a specific path or some universal path for everybody. No. That doesn't exist. But there is such a thing as purpose and meaning. It's just up to us to find it for ourselves. And that's part of the journey of life. That leads to happiness. But this woman had no purpose. She had no goals other than amassing ever more material wealth, ever more possessions, in the misguided belief, because this is what she had been taught by all social media and academia and the government, all that effeminist messaging, that that's how you find happiness and achieve success. It's a lie. It'll give you the exact opposite, but that's what she was told. And after a few years of being on the wrong path, i.e. no path at all, just being lost, she finally found her way and figured out that you need purpose, and it's up to you to find it, to create it in your own life. And that's what she did. And I give her kudos for that. So I know that there is a purpose. No, there's purpose. There's not a purpose, implying that there's some kind of universal path that we all walk, but there is purpose insofar as the individual needing to find it, and then once they find it, trotting that path to achieve that goal, that purpose. So yeah, I think I experienced what I did so that I could have a platform to share my story with other girls who are going through it. Cautionary tale, which is what I've done in TikTok videos detailing my experiences. Yeah, but you know, the sad thing is, there's a lot of girls out there who are going to read this, and they're going to think it's a worthwhile exchange. They can look at it, they're going to see the $20,000 a month and think to themselves, well, you know, I do it for a few years, I save up a bunch of money, maybe $500,000, $1 million, even though most women will never come close to that. This one's got to be a 9 or a 10. Exceptionally good looking and have the charisma as well to pull this off. But they're going to see this and think, wow, you know, okay, it's going to make me real unhappy, but I think I can grin and bear it for 3-5 years to make this kind of money, and then I'm out, and then I'm set for life. The only problem with that is, number one, inflation, so your money is worth less and less every year. Number two, women, generally speaking, aren't so good with money, especially ones with the compromised decision-making capabilities to think that this would be a good route to go down, so they're probably going to be just as bad with money as they are with all their other life decisions. And so what they think is going to be some kind of a lifelong nest egg isn't going to really last them their entire lives. $1 million, you're 22 years old, nah. Especially the kind of self-pleasuring, pleasure for its own sake, hedonistic lifestyle that these kind of women are going to live, are going to get into experiencing this kind of lifestyle. Because as you saw, this girl, she used extreme materialistic measures to try and distract herself from how miserable working OnlyFans made her. So in the end, she wouldn't have really ended up with much money left in the bank, if any. So if you think you're going to go into this kind of lifestyle and that it's worth it, that you can stomach and stand the suffering and the unhappiness because you're going to end up with such a huge nest egg and be set for life, you're kidding yourself, because the amount of substance abuse, the amount of liquor, the amount of vacations, the amount of Gucci handbags you're going to end up buying, the mansions that you think you're going to end up buying, and probably will end up buying something like that, a ginormous house and a nice car, they're all to distract you from your misery, which, if you didn't have all those distractions, would be intolerable, meaning you couldn't handle it. So the very money that you think you're going to make will all be put towards distracting self from the misery of the self in the situation that you're currently in. So you're going to end up broke. And broke in because of the OnlyFans experience and the way that you are going to be treated on that platform, which is part and parcel of being a prawn star, which is what you really are when you're on OnlyFreaks. Now I'm trying to find a new life, and I'm rebranding in the social media space to create a career I'm proud of. So, wow, did she really learn anything? Excuse me. So, what did she really learn? I mean, I guess it's good that at least she's not, dumping and peeing in buckets anymore for dudes and shoving cucumbers up her bum, but she's still sexually objectifying herself. Oh, yeah, but it's sexual objectification light. I mean, I guess that's true. But I don't know how you're going to rebrand yourself from prawn star to social media career. I guess you can. And honestly, it depends on how attractive you are. It might be possible considering the very short attention spans people have. But finding a good man, well, there are a lot of simps out there, even in the church, right? We must forgive the transgressor if they express their sincere remorse in regards to their sins. Yeah. Okay. So there are a lot of simps out there, but I doubt you'd be happy with a guy like that. I don't know. Oh, anyway, she's going to continue to try and make a living in the social media space. So, soulless medium that is going to continue to essentially have you viewed as nothing more than a sexual object. I don't know how much meaning or purpose you're going to get in your life from this rebranding. Yeah. And I wonder how much of your social media career is going to be based upon your prior career and notoriety as a popular and successful OnlyFans creator. Yeah. Anyway, editor's note, an OnlyFans spokesperson sent the following statement to Insider. Oh, this should be good. OnlyFans is designed to empower creators. Oh, they're calling them creators too, huh? Interesting. To connect with their fans. You mean John's? In a safe environment. I don't know. I've heard some stories where some of these dudes found these chicks in real life somehow. Because the chick wasn't very careful about like landmarks outside a window or in the background or something. Behind a secure paywall. Oh, so the paywall is just there to keep them secure, right? Yeah, not to put more money in your pocket because that's all you really care about. No. Creators maintain ownership of all their content. Yeah, but you get a big split of those, donations, tips, membership fees. And if a creator chooses to leave the platform, they can close their accounts and delete all their content at any time. Did she do that? It doesn't say that she did that. Did she close her OnlyFreaks account? I don't know. In addition, all creators have the power to block or report users who behave inappropriately. You mean ask for freaky stuff in exchange for money? And we take additional action where necessary. Yeah. That translates to me, if you have a problem, don't come to us. Don't bother us. We got too much to do. We're too busy. Making money off of your empty, meaningless, soulless existence. Yeah. Well, there you go. There you go. I don't know how remorseful she actually is. She said she found her way back to Jesus, but I'm skeptical. What do you guys out there think? Do you think this chick is reformed? Do you think any of these former OnlyFreaks broads becomes reformed? Or are they just chameleons pretending to be reformed? I don't know. I don't know. How many people kick heroin and stay off it? While at the same time imbibing in other products that have opioids in them. I mean, she says she's going to stay on social media and continue to try to make money off of her looks, off of her body, but it'll be in a less extreme way. I mean, that's kind of like heroin light, isn't it? Well, this drug I'm shooting up has 1/10 the opium, so it's much better for me. Yeah, but is it good for you? I mean, it's not good for you, right? It's still bad for you, just less harmful. But it's still bad for you, right? So I don't know. I don't know how much any of these chicks can get over the quick, easy money. I don't know how much they can get over the addiction for the attention and the validation of men. And I'm not so sure that they're not chasing the same dragon, albeit in a less extreme way, when they use their former OnlyFreaks clout to try and propel themselves in the Instagram, TikTok space, i.e. continue to make money off of what is essentially sexual objectification. But I don't know. What do you think? Do you think she's a changed woman? Do you think that she is now marriage material? Do you think there's some simpy simp dude out there that'll wife her up? Yeah, probably. She's still young and she's got to be attractive if she was making 20 grand a month, okay? Well, okay, not necessarily, but she probably is. Young, 20 grand a month. Probably. But yeah, there's probably some simpy, church-going dude out there who would actually, think it's his moral obligation to take the scriptures so seriously that, well, Jesus forgives her, I gotta. Let's go to the altar, sweetheart. But let me know what you think in the comment section. And please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not already. And hit that notification bell because you know how YouTube is. You're definitely not going to get a notification if you don't hit that notification bell. And even if you do hit that notification bell, you may not get a notification. But you're much more likely to get a notification if you hit the bell than if not. So hit that notification bell, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, baby. And leave a comment because it's good for that algorithm. And also don't forget to follow me on other platforms. BITCHUTE. I am the Realist Philosopher. And on Humble, I am also the Realist Philosopher. And on that note, I am out of here. I am the Bachelor Philosopher, also known as the Realist, and I wish you all a good and pleasant day. Take care.